What the hell's going on?
Well, the Oilers would have liked to have figured that out a few weeks ago. They've kind of been riding the same kind of wave, and the messaging from Evander and his camp have been, we don't know yet. We'd like to be able to play, but we're not sure. And there's been a lot of ambiguity around it, and a big cloud and some murkiness over exactly what his future is going to be, his immediate future is going to be. The Oilers think he's not coming back or not ready for the playoffs. His side thinks otherwise. That's why they're exploring the market to see if they can free up some cap space by moving him out.
So we hear kind of, again, Elliott said it and whatever. The contenders are the teams he would be willing to waive for or might be on his list. Is there a contender out there that you think makes sense for Evander Kane? Like, I have a hard time finding a fit.
You're going to have to look at a team that's got, the cap space to pull it off, because if the Oilers are going to do this, they want to generate as much cap space as they possibly can. So the list is that much more minuscule. Columbus, would he want to go there for the duration of this season and next? They're looking for an offensive winger, and they've got a ton of cap space. From that side of things, you could see a fit, but would he want to go there? And is that a team that's going to be on his trade list? So it's going to be complicated. It's going to take a little bit of convincing. How it's gotten to this point, quite frankly, guys, I'm not sure. The Oilers really, they've been trying to push for an answer for over a month, and they still don't definitively have it. So they're going to explore all their options and see what's available to them, and kind of go from there and continue to dive into the medical examinations to see exactly what the appropriate timeline is going to be to see when he could come back.
It's so ridiculous.
Evander Kane not helping the team. I'm stunned.
I know.
I'm personally stunned.
Calling me blue. I cannot believe this, what you're telling us right now, David. But in this hypothetical world, Evander Kane comes back. We learned today that basically every player on the Oilers has a no movement clause, specifically Victor Arvidsson, who a lot of people don't like him here anymore because he's just not panned out. Like, what do you see as a legit fit for Edmonton? Like, who's someone they could go out there and be like, okay, like, this guy's cheap enough, they have the assets, and he could actually help them?
Well, you're going to have to look for guys that are probably $2 million and under on an AAV, and even that might be stretching it if they can't use Kane's figure. So you're looking at guys, if you're looking at it up front, bottom six type of forwards. Now, Ryan Donato is at $2 million, and he's generating a ton of interest. So they're probably not necessarily going to have the assets, the trade assets, to make that type of acquisition. We know the Canadians have been looking at moving Jake Evans and his $1.7 million cap hit, but they have put a very high price on him because of the figure and his production this offseason, plus what he's capable of doing in the extra frame once we get to game 83 and on, from a two-way side of things. Add his speed to the mix. He's also an attractive piece, but he's going to be pricey from, again, an asset acquisition cost perspective. So those are two potentials, but you're going to have to pay up to get some of these guys because of the cap implications that are there. It's much more palatable to bring in somebody that's making that type of money versus others. Luke Kunin in San Jose, although he's over, I believe he's over $2 million on as a cap hit. So even that's going to be a bit of a struggle. Without additional cap space, it's going to be bargain hunting for Stan Bowman and the Oilers. I know that's not what everybody wants to hear, but really, I mean, Kane's $1.25 million cap hit is making life exceedingly difficult for Bowman and the staff.
Like, I got shredded on Twitter for saying I think a good deadline for the Oilers would be if they got Trent Frederick and Jamie Alexiak, and I got carved by Oilers fans being like, that's not enough. And I'm like, whoa, that's the upper end of what they can do. That is not a low bar at all. Like, that might be the most they can make work.
Right, and Frederick's another one. I mean, he's injured right now. He's going to be back in the next little bit. But he's also generated a ton of interest. There's a lot of interest in him. Even a teammate of his, Justin Brazeau, I'm sure Oilers fans are not going to love this one, but he's under $1 million. He's a big body presence. He's been in and out of the lineup, I think, a little bit by choice, by strategic choice, by Boston. They've been trying to sign him, and those contract negotiations haven't gone overly well. But he's a 6'5" frame. He's a good bottom six addition if you're looking for quality depth in that side of things. And he scored this season. So bargain basement, you're looking at that as a potential option as well. Alexiak would be a great addition as well, acquisition as well. but his price tag, just from a cap perspective, is going to be high. It's going to be difficult for them to pull something off unless they're moving a body off the roster or if they figure out this Kane situation.
What's up, Nation citizens? If you like that video, then you need to be subscribed to the Oilers Nation YouTube. Podcasts, live shows, exclusive interviews, and analysis. Everything you need from your favorite voices at Oilers Nation. And you don't want to miss any of it, so hammer that subscribe button.